So the NFL draft was last night, of course, and it's always interesting to know what would be the next big thing in a major move, primarily in the lineman and quarterback position. That's going to be a major line over concern over a majority of teams. And let's get one thing straight. Bro, there wasn't a defensive player picked in any position in the top 10 of the NFL draft, and we still have a lot of prime options over Cooper DeShawn that was not picked. Jackson Powers John that was not picked at center from the University of Oregon. Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama, and Ladd McConkey. I don't think JJ even got picked in the first round after a record draft at the first round in the NFL draft, guys. And if we look right now, but almost everything was presumptively right, with Caleb Williams getting drafted at number 1, the obvious pick, the most promising future star at the quarterback position got drafted, obviously. Now Jaden Daniels from LSU got picked over Drake May. The Patriots seem to have further interest in him to get picked number 3. Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously, after losing DeAndre Hopkins, trying to build over in the receiving position. I actually don't mind the draft pick for the Cardinals. People would think that Marvin Harrison fumbled the Patriots fumbled the bag, skipping over because we know about their quarterback situation after trading away Mac Jones to the Carolina Panthers. I think Bailey Zappi got bought off of waivers, so finding that new guy at quarterback was an obvious concern for the first 3 picks over the NFL, knowing that they had to draft away these their starting quarterbacks to even get this far. Malik Neighbors at the receiver position always been a major concern for the New York Giants. Got picked up at number 6. Tennessee Titans, I think, did a pick swap over for J.C. Luan, while Michael Penix Jr. After getting rid of Desmond Ridder and getting a massive signing over a $100 million contract over to Kirk Cousins to play over at Atlanta, the last thought in every fan's mind was getting Michael Penix for all the players that they need over on the defensive side of the ball, getting more prime receiving options or a lineman. Michael Penix. Well, I feel like the Falcons are trying to work over in the long-term department. So right before Kirk, that his contract is probably going to expire, not even going to expire the time he might leave, over in a very twilight age over, but still productive quarterback. The possibility of even the Falcons even making the playoffs already seeming short, even though the parity in the NFC South is pretty 50-50, depending on if you sneak in the wild card. Rome Odunze at the receiving core spot got picked at 9th for the Chicago Bears, while J.J. McCarthy got picked up by the Minnesota Vikings because you think he was good enough to go top 5. People thought he wasn't good enough to go top 5 because he thought he was a systemized quarterback. It was a mainly defensive unit with a lot of all-around skill players on that Michigan's Wolverines team. So, yeah, and this was over a pick swap with the New York Jets to swap over McCarthy, thinking like Zach Wilson was going to be the pick. Nope. They get Olamiwa Fushanu from Penn State for lineman protection because they had much of a protection plan on Aaron Rodgers in 1 week, like I do on a new basketball. Bo Nix got picked up with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the super duper senior, with already questionable positioning at quarterback. Now got to fight with Zach Wilson. That probably needed to get... didn't even have to look for his jersey number, knowing that him and Russell have the same last name to begin with, and just be given number 3. Unless he wants to be a bougie bastard. Latenzi Fawanga from Oregon State gets picked over by the New Orleans Saints, while Lataya Latatu, a lot of Polynesian players. And we know how the Colts are picking up edge rushers and offensive linemen, so not really a bad pick. Byron Murphy from Texas got picked up over to mess with that front two. I don't know if he's a nose, but getting somebody off that pressure for the Seahawks is a good way to go. While Jacksonville Jaguars, they got a swap pick for Dallas Turner from Alabama for that edge rushing position. Amarius Mims, that has a freaking skills player name, got picked up for the Bengals. I never complained about a lineman pick because, of course, you got to prioritize protecting it and moving the ball with the offense. So that shouldn't be a bad thing. But Amarius Mims from Georgia, just a big body to push over, with obviously a still young coach. I just don't know how this could transition well, knowing like raw linemen are so hard to come by, why free agency is so prioritized, and why the contracts are given how they are to the linemen as much as they are to the quarterbacks and receivers before the running backs. Jared Verse got picked up over for the LA Rams, while Troy Fontanu, obviously at the lineman spot for protecting possibly Russell Wilson or Justin Fields for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chop Robinson got picked up over for the Miami Dolphins, while Quayan Mitchell got picked up over in the Eagles position. That's a very notable position that the Eagles needed to look for from Toledo. But I don't think that was the right pick, in my opinion, that they should have made at cornerback, when there's so many other promising talent that should have been picked up. Like McKinsky. Hey, they didn't even keep with the Georgia bias this time from last off season. So that's an upside. And out of like poor pick swaps, Brian Thomas Jr. goes over to the Jaguars. But I think like the most concerning, out of Xavier Worthy going to the Kansas City Chiefs, to already be with Marquise Brown to make another promising receiving duo while Travis Kelce's still all-pro level. It sucks what happened to Rashee Rice because he had a very good breakout season and he ended up winning a Super Bowl. Then he ends up thinking like it's fucking Mario Kart. Nate Wiggins went, what a dud. Why did the Baltimore Ravens got a steal out of Nate Wiggins out of the Eagles that was a primary target? And Xavier Legette went from over on South Carolina in a massive steal pick, while Ricky Parcell from the San Francisco 49ers when our secondary is the most inconsistent in the NFL. We could have got Kool-Aid McKinstry, or at least prioritize and trying to find a replacement at the center position with Jackson Powers or Cooper DeShawn. Just somebody, but another playmaking Swiss Army knife from Florida. But that's enough for me. Hopefully, because that just disparages possibly that there's going to be an off-season move while we still have a bunch of the summer. What's going to happen to over after Juwan Jennings' contract? What's going to happen with Deebo Samuels? So we're going to let Brandon Ayuk walk. Is Ray McLeod going to go? Because there's still off-season polls to be made. And is Shanahan going to be judged over? Because we know how off-season maneuvers turn up to the Niners' face, and then they end up turning into gold in just a short amount of time. So will we come to regret it, or this will feel expected? This is just expectations following through. Hopefully, nobody thinks like I'm trying to be completely pessimistic, because this is a young man heading into the league. I wish him the best, but some people, out of just a professional aspect from the front office, feeling like this was not the primary position that needed work on. But the receiving core has been possibly the most talked about concern over this offseason, knowing that Deebo Samuels wasn't worth over his extension money to give subpar minutes to only be a minimal Swiss Army knife. And Brandon Ayuk been putting up breakout numbers, being one of the better deep threats on the team. And Juwan Jennings a good third down option over on the receiving core. And you don't know what's going to happen with George Kittle, obviously over in the older side, but he's still putting up great numbers. There's only so much you can do over this win now Niners team that still can't get it done. But it's just my opinion. Other than that, this has been a very fun draft. Tell me how you guys feel in the comment section below. That's it from me over on the DST show. I'm going to take Tylenol.